By this time, Diane should be winging her way to Houston. The big scheduler got hold of her, and she got called out on a trip tonight. So she sends her regards. With me, of course, is my ace first officer, Dieter Stoudinger, and fellow captain, Eric Larson. So we're glad to be with you tonight. If I should drop out of you, it's because I got some stuff going on. I'm not too sure what it is. If my voice sounds a little funny and I'm coughing every once in a while, but we're practicing safe distance. So I'm 6 feet away from the camera here, so we should be good. Okay, so this is our weekly show. We're glad to be back with you. This is obviously for anybody who's afraid to fly, for anyone who knows somebody's afraid to fly, which oftentimes is about equal in numbers, and for those of you who just have gotten kind of addicted to us and like to hear what we have saying, or at least watch us misbehave on occasion. So welcome back this week. We always like to invite you, if you have not joined the Fearless Flight Birds of a Feather. That's a free group that's open to anybody out there. All you got to do is click on that link down there and say you'd like to join, and we'll be more than happy to allow you into our special group where you can introduce yourself, talk about the things that are interesting to you, and read others that are equally interesting, and get lots of good crosstalk and feedback, including myself, Dieter, and the team here. So please go over there and join, especially if you're joining us for the first time and weren't aware of that.
And it's definitely picking up. Actually, we have actually one of our good friends, Salvador. He has a flight coming up. He posted, and lots of engagement. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today in the show. I won't steal your thunder there, Capt Ron, but we're seeing more interaction again. So we're noticing that more of you are thinking about flying and taking advantage of all the resources that we have to offer.
Exactly. And I'll talk just briefly about what I'm seeing on the coaching end of it, because that's always important to us, and we want to keep you current as well. So the first thing we wanted to do is talk about something that we've mentioned from time to time, but probably not enough. We don't blow our own horn enough. I hope that's not a shock to some of you out there. And it's called Putting Mindfulness into Practice 101. It's a free 30-minute audio and video program. It's pretty expansive, and we want to talk about that just briefly. The main thing about it is it does exactly what it says. It helps you put mindfulness into practice. There are two elements. One is education, and the other is the emotional input to overcoming your fear of flying, which we use mindfulness as the tool. Meditation, of course, is one part of that, and we teach you in this how to use it. It's a great tool that's been created there, and you own it, whether you knew it or not. All you have to do is go over to that link, http://flf.link/PMP101-free. All you have to do is go over there. You will automatically be entered into the Fearless Flight Hub, and you will see that waiting for your arrival.
And right now, Ron, do you see? I actually just pulled up the webpage, and
yes.
So if you click on the link in the description or in the chat here on Facebook or YouTube,
this is what you're going to see.
That's what you're going to see. And all you got to do is, I want free access. And then you just simply, it's pre-filled mine because I already have access. And what we encourage you to do is tell us right off the bat what topics you're interested in. Is it more takeoff turbulence? And
we really value your feedback. That's how we created everything that we've ever done. And what Dieter is suggesting there is he's done a quick little 4-item survey. Tell us, you can check one or all of them. Tell us what you're interested in, because that's where we're going to continue to develop products and expand them. Okay.
Exactly. So, and basically what is it going to do for you? You can see a screenshot from the actual inside, and I have, when you actually have access to the hub, then what you're gonna see is, just give me a second here. Whoops. There you go. So if you're on a desktop, this is the desktop site. Our site is mobile friendly, so it'll look really good on an iPhone
So
or an
this is
Android.
inside the actual hub, correct? Peter?
Once somebody opted in, once you opted in with your name and email,
Right.
you get login credentials. If you have never ever had contact with us, you're going to get login credentials. If you have used your email before with FearlessFlight, for example, maybe for you could have gotten the expert guide to turbulence and takeoff or the FearlessFlight kit or something like that, then just use this same one, because you use just one email and one password for all of the things that you have access. We want to make it easy for you. So
this is our version of an app. We're not there yet, but we're working towards that. And one of the necessary steps before we can even create an app, other than get a big pocket full of money, is to actually organize the information that we want to include in the app. And so this is, it's not only important to us to get you to start using this resource with us and from us, but it's also because you're going to drive the eventual app that we're going to be producing down the road. So
and I'm gonna just say, for example, like not to call you out, hey Jim and hi Tracy, you guys are watching right now. For example, when you go and log in, Jim, I know you have already access to it. So you just need to log into the link, and again, that's really easy by just again clicking on that same flf.link PMP 101-free. And if you have access already, then you just click on that login up here, and that will bring you into the members hub. And then the putting mindfulness into practice is right here, and you can stream your files right here, as long as you have internet access. And then
what you just got there, those are the three basic files to the PMP 101. It's an introduction to mindfulness. It's the basics of mindfulness. And then the third one is an actual Neuro-Sync meditation. So they're all audio. They all have sound with them. But the third one actually has what we created years ago in the FearlessFlight kit, and have now updated. I have a wonderful helper who's doing the audio for us, and we're putting all the really neat stuff that goes into the FearlessFlight kit in terms of audio in there. Down the road, we'll have captioning for people who can't actually hear or have difficulty hearing. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but these are the three most basic things. So they're packed with information and practical practice.
And we haven't, what I neglected to mention is that it's not just an audio program. We have a whole video series, and we just created these short little videos. So it's an introduction, and then we go into the different aspects of mindfulness. So all of this is available for you in the FearlessFlight Birds of a Feather members hub, where the putting mindfulness into practice is located. So I just want to say, hey, Jeff Kresnak. Hey, Jeff is here.
Stay safe up in the northern part of Michigan there, Jeff.
Yep. It's as cold as it is here. It snowed today here in near Toronto. But I want to ask Jeff, Tracy, Jim, if you guys have already listened to or watched the Putting Mindfulness into Practice 101, because if you have, here, it's another feature that we enabled. When you see under the video training series, we actually give you only see now, I'm logged in here as FearlessFlight, but you have your own ability to leave a comment or a question, and they will alert us. So if you have a question that's related to the video series or to the audio programs, you can see that here as well. All you got to do is
those come directly to us.
Yeah.
That's the beauty
we'll get
of it.
notified.
Yeah.
So,
And just in case you guys thought I wasn't paying attention, this is something already available to them in the members only section, right? So they can just go get it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
That's
That's
available
why we
right
say,
now.
yeah. You own it. You just probably didn't realize that you owned it. So all you have to do is claim it. Okay, you don't have to break any windows or break any laws. All you got to do is just take that link and join us.
All right, so let me get back to our PowerPoint here. Where were we? There we go.
Okay, we had a little bit of a spoof tonight on our poll question. If you are a member of Medicare or in that age down here, and certainly on any channel that advertises Medicare, we're in the, for those of you who might live outside the country or don't have a pulse and don't watch TV, we're inundated right now with two types of commercials. One is the whole notion of we're in an open enrollment period for Medicare, so you can change your healthcare coverage if you desire. And the other one has become a favorite of mine, particularly with Tom Selleck. I love Tom Selleck, but it's called a reverse mortgage. So Dieter said, "What's the poll question?" I said, "Ask if anybody knows what a reverse mortgage is," because oh my God, I'm so tired of that. I know Eric and I were laughing about that before the show here. It's like, give me a break. You know, how many times, obviously I need to exercise some control and turn off the TV, but it's hard not to see it, even if you're only watching it for 5 minutes. Yeah.
And I think you'd have something that said, if it said, did you know you can use a reverse mortgage to get out of a timeshare? I think they would grab some people with that.
Yeah. Let me talk just a little bit as a prelude to in the coach's corner to the rapid relief kit, which we're going to talk about there in the notion of Neuro-Sync. I have been getting some coaching calls. I get people, like I always do, day before, week before, a couple of weeks before, people who have got to fly, and they feel like they're in a box, and they call me up what to do. So I do the 15-minute coaching call. We talk about, I get their triggers. We talk about the process of identifying your triggers, and then coming up with different stories that first identifying the story that you may be telling yourself, which is harmful, which is causing your anxiety, and then teaching them how to change the story. And then beyond that, then they decide whether they want to do more coaching or what they want to do. But certainly the most common things that I've done over the past 20 years are three things. One has been the Fearless Flight Kit. That's what we've always had. Two was when I started the online and Zoom coaching. And then now we have developed something else called the Rapid Relief Kit. And so we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I have people that are coming back to me and coming out of the woodwork kind of because COVID-19, even though it's in a huge firestorm right now, people, and that the flying may die down over the holidays a little bit, but people had started to come out and return to the air a little bit. And when they do that, I had a couple of people who had bad experiences again, and they just couldn't get on the airplane, or they got on and they got off, or they flew, but it was miserable for them. And so the first thing I ask them is, what have you been doing? And typically it's nothing. And so some of them have the Fearless Flight Kit, some of them don't. So Dieter asked me not too long ago, he said, what do we do for people, that you could say consistently over the years? And then I told him, and he came up with a Rapid Relief Kit. So we want to talk about that briefly. It's something new. It's things that we've done forever, packaged with a new item in there. So if you want to put that up there, Dieter.
Yep, I am right here. Do you see the screen?
Your custom coaching solution. Sure do.
Yeah, perfect.
So the first thing that we've always had in there, and the foundation tool for Fearless Flight has always been the Fearless Flight Kit. That includes 7 components, and we're upgrading that to the 2.0 version, which we hope we're going to get out before Christmas, if not shortly thereafter. And if you buy it or you have it, you're going to get an invitation to get the upgrade as well. But the flight kit has 7 components, and the foundation of that is an audio program that's 32 minutes long, that has audio, voice, music, and sound effects to it. And it's put together in what I call a dynamic meditation. Instead of what we traditionally have thought of a meditation as being kind of calm, laid back, with silence interspersed in there, I decided 30 years ago or 20 years ago that the problem for a fearful flyer, at least a novice fearful flyer, if you will, someone who's just in the early stages of overcoming their fear, is that they can't quiet their mind. They can't generate the initiative to monitor their breathing and all that. So I decided, if you can't beat them, then join them. And so we came up with this really dynamic soundtrack with audio voice to it, with sound effects, including the inside of the airplane sounds, that really assimilates what it's like to be in an actual airplane. And it's 32 minutes long. I have people, if you have just one day that you can give me before your flight, you get this thing, you can download it, put it on there, and listen to it the night before, in the morning, and then take it with you on the airplane. I always recommend that. But if you're not flying for 6 months, you don't have to listen to it for 6 months like that. But when you get within 2 to 3 weeks of your flight, you want to listen to it at night, in the morning, and then during the day. And this is the most important part. You want to listen to it whenever your mind gets triggered and your attention gets hijacked to something else. You want to put the harmonizer on to the best of your convenience and applicability at that point in time. And you don't have to listen to the entire 32 minutes. Just listen to it long enough until your attention comes back under your control. Because fear of flying is not about airplanes and flying, it's about an attention disorder. You can't control your attention anymore. And so what you need to do is like practice, like rehearse, like doing arm curls, okay? And that's what the Fearless Flight Kit and the harmonizer in particular does. It's arm curls for your mind. And what it does is it strengthens your ability to come back to your attention and get you through that. People, 99% of the people who abuse it absolutely rave about it. And so that's the fundamental thing to that. We've added coaching, of course, along with that. When people said, I want more, and I did that for years before we ever put it in there formally. And so now an hour of coaching, we combine that. So normally the flight kit has been $197. The coaching's been a couple $100. And now we're adding something called Neuro-Sync meditation. So in this package, you're going to get the flight kit with Neuro-Sync in it. You're going to get the hour of coaching, and you're going to get a 10-minute Neuro-Sync meditation. It's a custom meditation that is based upon your coaching call. Okay. And
yeah, I think you need to explain that a little bit so that people really get the value of what you just said here.
Well, let's say that your issue is you feel trapped when they close the door. We're going to work on focusing on what's that like. We're gonna actually put you in that thing. No different than if Eric and I were to climb into an aircraft simulator, and we're going to simulate those conditions, and we're going to give you things that you can focus on, both visual imagery and feelings, and it'll have custom music put alongside of it so that you can literally work your way through that and practice. Remember, it's not about getting rid of your anxiety. Ultimately, that's what we want to do. But the key to overcoming your fear of flying is to make peace with the anxiety with you. And what the people that I'm seeing now that are starting to fly, who have flown successfully, but are having second thoughts again, or a little nervous about that, what they've lost is confidence. They have all the tools that they've ever had. It's just that they don't have the confidence. And what you need is confidence. You're not going to stop your anxiety. You need the confidence to know that when your anxiety comes up, you're going to be able to cap it. So instead of it starting and going all the way to a panic attack, you're going to be able to stop it. With instead of going to a 10, maybe you'll cut it off at an 8. And then with the rapid relief kit and the tools in there, you can work your way down from an 8 to a 7 and a 7 to a 6. That's the key to having that. So all of these things, if you purchase them in like people have done in the past, it would have been over $600. But together in this thing, we're doing it for $397. So take a look at that. And if you have the flight kit, for example, contact us personally and we'll make an adjustment for you. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. And
okay.
I just wanna ask you, Eric, because this is so critical, especially since we're talking about aviation and training and stuff, and you as a pilot. So let's just hypothetically say air travel magically picks up again, and somehow you get the red carpet rolled out, and your employer welcomes you back, your company wants you back. Would you immediately be climbing into an aircraft and just taking off the next day?
Oh, no, that would be weeks and weeks of Turkish prison pain. I'd have probably 5 to 6 weeks of studying at home, probably
Okay.
10 weeks out of town with systems ground school and simulator stuff. And then probably 3 to 4 weeks after that with a company check airman flying around with me to make sure I remember which way north is and that sort of thing. I mean, it would be 3 or 4 months
Before you
I
could.
saddle up and go again easily.
And that's why we use the flying metaphor. It works so well. Whether you're trying to learn how to be a passenger or whether you're a pilot trying to stay active, the process is the same. We use simulation. We use visualization. I've mentioned to you before, Eric and I have discussed this. We spent many hours in a chair visualizing the cockpit layout, moving the switches, what we were doing with the controls before we ever got into an airplane. You simply you can't afford it. And the companies, anybody who pays you to learn how to fly can't afford to take that much time with you to actually teach you in an airplane. It's just too doggone expensive. Even with simulation, it's too expensive to fly the simulators to do all that. So you have to do a lot of home study. And that's where people miss the ball. They miss it because they think that I get on an airplane, I do great, and then I go and I just forget about it. Well, you can forget about it if you're not going to fly for another year. But when you get within 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of that, now all you got to do is go back and recreate the process that you did before. Call us up for a little bone-up coaching session. Watch the shows. We really recommend you stay connected to us all the time. And we're going to be adding more and more things into the area of the Fearless Flight Hub like that. So,
Ron, let me just let me just answer the couple of questions. And so I just want to make sure that I get them. So Tracy, you're asking the rapid relief kit. So yes, it gives you access to the Fearless Flight Kit. So it also includes a 1-hour coaching session with Capt Ron, and then Ron will take the content of that session and
we'll agree on it. We'll agree.
Yeah. The whole point is the two of you are together and you guys create what we call a flight plan, our Fearless Flight plan, by giving you then in the custom Neuro-Sync meditation, kind of like the affirmations and the things that help you anchor what you learned and what you experience in the coaching session and how the Fearless Flight Kit is designed to work. And so it will allow you to get even deeper into your subconscious.
Think of it as your own mini personal Fearless Flight harmonizer.
Yeah, that's really a good way of saying
it. You guys should stay current on Fearless Flight like we stay current on the airplane. Exactly. Not just show up and hope it works out okay.
That's been the most difficult thing for me to first grasp and then to feed back to people over the years is you don't wait until you get on the airplane. By that time, it's usually too late for most people. It's going to be a miserable experience. What you do is to practice outside of that. But the key is knowing how to identify what you need to work on and then identifying what you do to work on that. Okay. And the people, whether they've come to classes, whether they've done one-to-one coaching, it's a common denominator. They all realize, okay, this is my thing. This is what I need to do. And this is where I need to place my focus. And now we're just narrowing in on that with the Neuro-Sync meditations and the custom Neuro-Sync meditation to help it more customized. And it's not like you only use these things one time and then you throw them away. These are going to be good for some of you for the rest of your lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because some of you simply don't fly that much, but you're not going to be dependent on us. Cry as we will, we hate to see you go away, but we're in the business of putting ourselves out of business, and you can help us do that by getting the tools and learning how to practice with them.
Tracy says sign me up. So Tracy, I'm going to put the link in there just a little bit to the Rapid Relief Kit. Remember, if you have access to the FFK, which I can't remember at this point or not, the FFK is the Fearless Flight Kit. Just shoot us a message.
Yeah.
And Well,
And
well,
the thing
there
I
you
want
go.
to, I really want to acknowledge Dieter with this. If you, any of those of you who've been with me for a long time and used to get that FFK, you get a link to eventually a place in the sky and in the cloud, and you download it, and then you lose your phone, you get a new phone or whatever. You know, if you're like me, you kind of recycle a phone about once every year and a half or something like that, and then you lose access to it. Dieter took care of that problem. That's what the hub is all about. Now you don't have to remember all that. All you have to do is keep your login and go over to the hub anytime you need to download any of the components in the Fearless Flight Kit.
And that's why we're always, especially me, stressing that you use one email address, you know, and we all know this because our system is based on your email address, right? So if you have access to the Fearless Flight Kit, you use the same login credentials to access your putting mindfulness into practice 101, for example, or your Flight Deck Confidential, which is also volume 2 with Captain Eric and Captain Ron, is coming out probably fairly soon as well. So there are a lot of products and services that you have access for free, and then depending on what else you purchased, it's all in one place. And we just want to make it easy, because if it's not convenient, you're not going to use it, and if you're not going to use it, it's not going to serve you. So
yeah, and 'tis a season to be jolly for those of you who might be flying. You know, if you need help, don't sit back there and wait. Go over there tonight to the PMP 101 link and download that if you haven't. So
okay, are we ready for
We are.
because I honestly, now is my favorite part, because I'm not really sure what's gonna happen next there, Captain Eric.
Okay,
But we are gonna talk about how airports manage wildlife risk. And why are we talking about that, Eric?
you guys have to talk amongst yourselves because my wardrobe person got the bat flu, and now I have to step outside and change.
Well, the reason that we end up managing wildlife is because we put airports in areas and then make them really pretty with green grass and which attracts a lot of insects, which attracts a lot of birds. So birds have always been a problem. Captain Sully's airplane actually hit birds on takeoff from LaGuardia, taken off to the northwest on runway 31. And off the end of that runway is a huge landfill with all these migratory birds. If you remember, it was in late January in 2009, I believe. And so and you have some big birds in when you have that much of an attraction there. So what has happened over the years is we've drawn birds to where the airports are. They have all kinds of various and sundry devices. They have guns that go off and cannons that go off, and they have decoys that they put out and things like that. A variety of ways to keep the bird traffic down. And another hazard is not just birds, but other wildlife.
And that's what we're talking about, because what happened there
We
is
have a resident hunter.
Yeah.
I'm in my former upland game hunting outfit, and I have my my blaze orange hat on, and my little pheasant shirt with a patch on it and stuff. And I thought I'd put it in to get in theme. And we wouldn't have brought any of this up, except for I'm sure you guys all saw this because you see everything. These unfortunate pilots with Alaska Airlines hit a bear in Yakutat, Alaska, Saturday early evening. And so I said this to my wife, and she goes, "A yak attacked the airplane?" I said, "No, it was a bear." And she says, "What about the yak?" And I said, "There was no yak. And the airplane attacked the bear, not the other way around." She goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Never mind." Well, lesson one is when you let indigenous people name airports, navigational aids, and stuff like that, it's hard to pronounce, hard to spell, and it's really fun for them to listen to gringos try and pronounce it. But anyway, that airport's 325 miles southeast of Anchorage. And anybody that hunts will tell you there's some truth to the Elmer Fudd hunting story. If you have a bear tag and you go hunting, you see elk. If you have an elk tag, you see moose. If you have a moose tag, you see enough wild turkey to take care of the next 5 Thanksgivings, but you don't see a moose. Finally, if you get frustrated and just decide to go for a walk in the woods, you'll probably see a bear, a moose, an elk, and a timber wolf smoking dope, sitting around a fire telling hunter jokes. Nevertheless, these Alaska pilots did not fly down here with the intent of smacking a bear. And in fact, as Ron said, these airports are located in very remote areas. And so there's a continuous wildlife mitigation problems. One is the birds, and the other is anything that might walk across the runway. And the fencing is generally very, very good. But anybody that has tried to keep a bear out of anything will tell you, yeah, good luck with that. So they're watching continuously from the control tower with really high power binoculars all the time to see if they can see if anything's approaching the runway. And they also, as Ron said, have all manner of pyrotechnics and July 4th kind of stuff, flashbang, sonic boom stuff, fireworks, that kind of stuff they can shoot off to scare them away. And up there, they usually have a DNR, a Department of Natural Resources person close by to help them deal with that. And the reason this is newsworthy is because it happens rarely, but it did happen. And that day, these guys are rolling out, and the as my attorney friend would say, the bear in question was attempting to cross the runway without a clearance, and they hit him with the lower part of that engine nacelle there. And there were a grand total of 6 passengers on the airplane, and the report said they didn't even know that they'd smacked the bear. But they turned around, and the damage was significant to the airplane and a total loss to the bear. And I'm sure the pilots—
And we want to make the point. Tie always goes to the airplane.
Always goes to the airplane, and I'm sure the pilots were mortified. And from the damage on the engine, you can tell that it was going to be an unplanned, probably overnight in Yakutat, where they did not have a mechanic standing by, and they were going to have to get a ferry permit to take it back to Anchorage or Seattle and see what they could do to fix it up. And the other—
tell them what a ferry permit is, Eric, real quick.
Oh yeah. So if we have an airplane that's mildly smashed, like the one in the picture, then you petition the FAA and say, hey, we kind of smashed our airplane, but it's not real bad. We would like to take it to a maintenance base where the guys can work on it. Would you agree that this is airworthy for us to take under this ferry permit? And then what you will do is fly it with no passengers on it. The FAA may say, well, you're restricted to such and such an altitude. On that one, they would say you can't enter icing conditions because the de-icing of the engine is obviously not going to be operable. There may be restrictions with the permit, and sometimes you can actually carry company employees on it. But sometimes if it's a straight maintenance ferry because it's in a bad way, it can only be minimum crew. And they'll say, yes, you can fly it to the base. Here's the route you have to go. Here's your altitude restrictions. Here's your other restrictions you can go. Or if it's really in bad shape, they'll say, too bad, so sad. Get everybody from the maintenance base to come down here and fix it on the spot, or at least fix it to the point where it's airworthy.
And the point to remember is it's aviation. It's tightly controlled and closely monitored. So.
And they did.
I got some comments, Eric. So first of all,
comments.
Do you know?
Yes.
First of all, Jim, I love that about you, Jim. So Yakutat, do you know what that means, Eric? Like
I do not.
Okay, so
Jim knows, he should tell us.
It's a Tlingit, I guess, word for place where the canoes rest. I love that. So
that makes sense in the location at the top of the Alaska Bay there.
Well, a lot of these naming conventions from, have to do with what was practical.
The Indians were the indigenous people there.
And the next thing is, our good friend Oliver wants to know if that's your Halloween outfit.
I haven't decided yet. I mean, it could be next year, but we'll wait. It depends on the temperature.
Okay.
I don't know how I would do, but I have other options.
Excellent. Well,
right.
I appreciate it.
So that's our update, aviation news update about how you handle how you manage wildlife around the airport and how you handle when they.
I do have another a question actually from the viewers, and that is, why does Captain Eric look like he's undercover? So, do you wanna share some viewers why you're dressed like that?
I just put this on when we talked about wildlife management. I wanted to put my upland bird hunting outfit on, and I put the shades on so I wouldn't laugh at myself when I started talking about it. That's pretty much the whole reason.
Oh,
right.
thank you. So by the way, that question was asked by my lovely and beautiful wife, Rebecca, who apparently just joined our conversation.
Oh. Yeah, she probably did wonder what's going on.
Yeah, it's reported that you never want to look a bear directly in the eye, so sunglasses helps. Yeah. And what's the other joke about bears? You carry the how do you find a bear, or what is it? You look around for a dead hunter or dead person that had no
Bear spray.
Bear poop that had bells and in the I remember that joke, Eric? Yeah.
Yeah, and the main one I remember is you're never going to pass the bear. The only important thing is you have to be faster than the other guy with you.
Right, that's the best one.
That was a real piece of advice that was given to me when I first traveled into the Yukon. I swear to God.
Yeah. All right, so that is going to bring us to the close of another episode of Fearless Flight Live. Hopefully we'll have Diane back next week. Hopefully you will all stay safe. It's getting to be more and more of a challenge everywhere, certainly in the U.S. And we want you to come back safe and fly with us, or fly and let us know about that. So thanks again for joining us tonight. Thanks to Dieter once again, and Hunter, Eric down there, and we hope to see you back again next week for another episode. So have a great week and stay safe, everybody.
And make sure you listen and watch the Putting Mindfulness into Practice. And next week, let us know what you think about it.
You bet.
All right. Good night, everybody.